Alright, hello everybody. Part of another adventure. I'm on my way over to Wisconsin. Gotta put some deer stands up with my friend Jake. My other buddy Paul and all of his kids are in Yellowstone, so it'll probably be Jake and I putting up stands. And I think, my friend David might show up tomorrow and mow the grass. So on our way back to the farm, you saw the film last year of us taking them down. Now it's time to put them back up. Fall's fast approaching, so I'll be in touch. Well, everybody, this story doesn't end the way it started. My friend Jake and I were on our way over to set up 10 deer stands at our friend's farm in Wisconsin. We have done it many, many years. I've been doing this 40 years, and never had a problem before. This time it didn't end well. I left the introduction to the video the same to explain what we were going to do. We were going to go set up 10 stands, myself and my friend Jake. Like I said, we've been doing it for years. I love to bow hunt. Other than my wife and my family, it's my biggest passion. The bucks you just saw were mainly killed with my bow. I love sitting in a tree. I love the passion of sitting in a tree. I've seen so much wildlife. It's not just about the kill of the harvesting of a white-tailed deer or a buck. It's more about spending time in nature. I've had some of the coolest things in my life happen to me sitting in a tree. I've had a bear at the base of my tree putting its paw on the tree. I've had owls come and land within feet of me, trying to figure out what I am, because when you sit in a tree, you just move your head real slow. And these owls will see your movement, and they try to figure out what you are. And they've come and sit right beside you. My future son-in-law had an owl come during the gun season last year and fall asleep right beside him. He said he watched it the whole time. He was there the whole day when he spent time in his tree. I've seen raccoons, coyotes, skunks, you name it, I've seen it. Turkeys, tons of turkeys. I've seen gray squirrels fall on the tops of trees, just make a mistake and fall all the way down to the ground. They sit, they wake up, they go, oh man, they walk away. It's astonishing. One late season hunt, the snow was on the ground, and I was sitting next to the edge of a swamp, and I looked in the swamp, and I saw this bobcat. It was a big male bobcat, and he owned that swamp. That swamp was his. He strutted around like he owned this place, looking around, who's going to mess with me? There was nobody who was going to mess with that bobcat that day. He was looking bad. Well, as I said, my friend Jake and I were setting up stands. We had probably 5 stands set up, and we were doing our 6th and 7th. During that time, I was doing the 6th stand, and we have something called climbing sticks. As a matter of fact, I'll show you one right now. Alright, this is what a climbing stick looks like. I've used them for years. They're wonderful climbing sticks. And the reason for my accident wasn't this climbing stick. You set this up against a tree, ratchet it tight, it doesn't go anywhere. So that's a typical climbing stick. You can buy it at any sporting goods store. I got the top of my stand, ratcheted that as tight as I could get it. The next step was to bring up the stand. It's a hang-on stand. We do them for years. But you need both hands. And I ratcheted that climbing stick as tight as I could get it. I even get it one more tight click. And I went to throw my lineman's rope around the tree. And as soon as I did that, this piece let loose. For somehow it came unbungeed or unratcheted. I have no clue why. And I fell 25 feet. Right now on the stand, this is hanging just like this because it goes into a male end here. Short at that bend, it's hanging up in the tree 20 feet. I have no idea why my tree stand failed. I have to figure it out so it doesn't happen to any more of my friends. I fell 25 feet and landed flat on my back. This is probably as much pain as I've ever felt in my whole life. My friend Jake was about 30 yards away and he came to help me. From that point on, we were trying to get me to a hospital or something. I crawled on my elbows for the first 10 yards, on my knees, hands and knees for the next 10. The last 10 yards to the truck, I had to stand up because there was some rocks I had to go over. Jake helped me to my truck. I was able to get into the truck on the passenger side. He drove me back to my friend's farm, where I called my wife and told her that I was hurt. It was very, very, very painful. I determined that when I was sitting in the truck, it was easier on me. It wasn't as bad as if I stood or laid or anything. So I actually told my friend Jake I was going to drive home. It's about a 4-hour drive home, and I did. I drove all the way home. As long as I was in the truck, sitting, I was fine. I could run the brakes, I could run the gas. I just knew that when I got out of this truck, there was going to be hell to pay. So we made it to the emergency room. After the emergency room, I won't go into all the details of that, but one thing I was told, I was standing explaining to the lady what happened, and within 10-20 seconds there was someone standing beside me. And as they were standing beside me, the gentleman, I caught eyes with the gentleman. He looked at me and said, "Sit in the wheelchair." I said, "Pardon me?" He said, "Sit in the wheelchair." And I said, "Okay." And he didn't mess around anymore. That was it. I was out of there because I had fallen 25 feet. Anything over 15 feet they considered very serious. He wheeled me through one set of doors, and there was 12 people waiting in the emergency room waiting to get in. They put me in first right away. He hesitated in the hallway, and before he took me through the next doors, he said to me, "There's 8 people waiting for you, and so don't panic when you go through those doors." We went through those doors, and it was true. There were 8 people waiting for me as I came through that door because they were so afraid of spinal cord injuries, paralyzation, things of that nature. So they basically took all my clothes off, set me on a table, and started taking x-rays from head to toe. After about, I have no idea, 20 minutes. I didn't even know my wife was in the emergency room at this point in time. I had to ask her 2 days ago, "Were you in the emergency room?" She said, "Yes." She was sitting right behind me. There was such chaos. But the emergency room nurse, or doctor, came up and looked me in the eyes. I was laying on the table, and she said to me, I'll never forget this as long as I live. She said, "You have 8 lives left because you just used one of them." And what she informed me is I have a compound fracture of my L1 vertebrae, top of your lumbar, the top third of your back. A compound fracture that is split like a bagel. So if you cut a bagel in half, that's what my lumbar looks like, except you don't cut it all the way through. You cut it about 90% of the way through, and that's the compression fracture that I have in my vertebrae. It cracked to the outside instead of the inside. If it went to the inside, it probably would have affected my spinal column, affected my ability to walk, and possibly my ability to live. But instead, it just affected my pain. So some of the things that happened to you, they took me to a different hospital because the hospital I was at, which was a brand new hospital, probably one of the newest ones around where I live in the Twin Cities, they couldn't handle me. They sent me to a hospital that specializes in trauma, which is what I had. Once I got there, I basically rested that first night. I don't remember much of that night, but they did fit me with a brace, and I'll show you what the brace looks like. You know, it's a torso brace. Looks like this. See the back of it goes all around, all the way to the front. It velcros here. My wife has to put it on and take it off of me. I can't do that on my own. So my wife has to take care of me. My rules are that I have to wear this for the next 3 months. I can't lift more than 5 pounds for the next 3 months. So all I can emphasize to you is be super safe when you're in your trees. We all love it. We all love being up high. But if you ever fall, you're in for a world of hurt. My hunting season's over for the year. My fishing season's over for the year. I can't even get in a boat. I can't mow the grass. There's many things I can't do for the next 3 months, and it's September 1st approximately now. So that goes right through December 1st. That's basically the deer season, the grouse season. Some of the best perch and walleye fishing in the state of Minnesota that there is that time of year. And I can't partake in it. I'll be going up sometime in the next week to take my boat out of the water. It'll go into storage because I can't hunt or fish anymore this season. So, but along with that being said, I'm very grateful for what I do have. I have my life, I have my family. I'm still able to chew on my friends and yuck with my buddies up, so I'm thinking long term instead of short term. This is a 3-month handicap for me, but I'm thinking 1 year down the road, 5 years down the road, that I want to be healthy and live again. So this is nothing for me. So I take this very, very seriously, but I'm going to make a light note out of this. So I hope I have a positive attitude on life. So I'll tell you some of the positive things of this. Number one, I can't put my socks on anymore. My wife has to do that for me, so I can be lazy. Sometimes I can't even put my own underwear on, so my wife has to do that too. I get a special grabber. When you drop your underwear on the floor, you can't bend down and pick them, because I can't bend over. I'm not allowed to bend over, so I get to pick them up with a hand grabber. I never thought I'd have one of these. In the beginning, I got a special walker with tennis shoes on it, or tennis balls in the bottom. This was my dad's. It's the only way I could get in the emergency room. When I walked in the hallways the first couple nights at the hospital, I had to use that walker. It's humbling, to say the least, that when you use a walker at age 62 and you're healthy as heck. I run, I bike, I swim every day, and I believe that's part of, not every day, but that's kind of my regimen, is I run, bike, and swim. But I feel that it also saved my life. And I was also very, very lucky. I believe that I had a guardian angel watching me, helping me live, because the rule of thumb is 3 times your height and you're dead. Well, 3 times my height's a little over 18 feet, and I fell 25 feet. So technically I should be dead. And I had more than 4 doctors actually tell me that, 2 trauma doctors and 2 neurosurgeons tell me that I'm a doggone lucky guy. So I have learned to appreciate all of this and learn to be safe. My friend and Jake and I have established 3 new rules for how we get in and out of our trees. I'm not going to go over this now. There's things that we have to do to make sure this never happens again. He's young. He has a family. I'm older, so my wife's family would have been fine. But he's young, and he's got a young family to raise. So him and I have to make sure that this never happens to anybody else. A couple other things. Is that I never even knew existed, but I get a very special toilet. I'll take a picture of that and show it to you. Part of the benefits of being, getting to wear the brace and falling out of a tree. Trust me, it's not much of a benefit. One of the things of wearing a brace is you can't reach around to clean yourself after you've used the toilet, so you get this handy dandy nice little toilet paper extender that helps you do it. I never even knew it existed. So I know I'm making light of this, and I'm just trying to keep a positive attitude of something that happened to me. And I know for many people, this is a tragedy. They wind up paralyzed. Some of them wind up dead. One of my friends told me somebody's still in a coma after a month ago accident, falling out of a tree. And they're still in a coma. So I am the most blessed dude in the world. I understand it. I don't mean to make light of this, but I'm just trying to keep a positive attitude about it. But that's what happened to me. I'm just telling all my fellow outdoorsmen, be safe out there. Do what you can. We use linemen's ropes. We use harnesses. As a matter of fact, I have 10 stands in my friend's farm. There's a rule I have. Anyone can go into one of my stands that they want. But you have to wear a harness. And if I ever catch them in a harness, they're going to get their ass kicked, or they're going to get their chewed, because I don't want anybody getting hurt. I was very lucky. I didn't land on my head. I didn't land on my butt. Didn't land on my feet. I landed flat on my back like a pancake. So I don't know how that saved me. I didn't hit a rock. I didn't hit a twig. I didn't hit a tree limb. I didn't hit anything. Solid ground. I picked dirt out of the back of my head for about 4 days. I have no idea. I'd start scratching my head, and I'd be picking dirt out of my head. It's just the goofy things that happen. But I survived, and I'm lucky as can be. I'm very blessed to have survived it and made it. I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm only a week into this. I have a appointment with a neurosurgeon to see how I'm healing in about 3 weeks. So for now, I'm doing fine. I don't have any pain. It's my knee. My knee is the worst thing. I must have landed weird on my knee, so that's going to be addressed after I figure my back problem out. My knee, there's something wrong with my knee from the fall. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with my knee. But my back, boy, oh boy, I'll wear this brace for the next, 3 months, and hopefully I come out of it whole. That's my goal, is to come out of this hole. So all I can tell my fellow friends and hunters is be safe in the woods, man. Mine was an accident. I have no idea how that happened. I asked my friends not to touch it, because I want to go and analyze what went wrong. What did I do wrong? That ratchet was tight. I tightened it, and before I made my next move, I tightened it one more time. I don't know, maybe I broke the strap. Maybe I made it too tight. Maybe I wasn't hooked into one of the, where you hook them in. Maybe I wasn't all the way in there. I don't know. The weld may have broken. That stand might be 4 years old, 5 years old. Maybe the weld got old. Maybe when I ratcheted it one more time, I broke that weld. I just don't know what happened yet. So my friends aren't going to touch it until I get there to see it, kind of analyze what happened. But I do know, when I do get there, I'm going to sit at the base of that tree and give thanks, a lot of thanks to this whole thing, and that I'm here and surviving and laughing and joking about it. But you know, Mother Nature, when I hit her, she hurt me. But I hope in my own little way, when I hit the ground, I bruised Mother Nature just a little bit, because she sure hurt the hell out of me. So that's my story. Be safe out there, everybody. It can go so fast, man. I thought everything was cool. I thought it was so cool. Next thing you know, I was yelling, no! The two things I thought as I was falling, two things, I've told other people this story, two things. One, 25 feet's a long way to go. And the second thing I thought is, I wonder when I'm going to hit. And I hit so frickin' hard, you won't believe it, man. My whole body ached. About 36 hours after I landed, I was laying in bed in the hospital. I was there for 4 days. And my whole torso just started to ache. And the only time I buzzed the nurse, the only time I had oxycodone. And she said, it's like a car accident. Sometimes you don't feel it right away, you feel it afterwards. And I felt it. My whole torso just ached from head to toe. The ribs, pancreas, kidney, liver, everything ached. All my organs hurt so bad. It's the one time I took an oxy pill. Otherwise, other than that, I took no pain meds other than Tylenol or acetaminophen. So that's my story. Everyone be safe out there. Love the outdoors. I do. So, and like I said, I didn't mean to make a joke out of it, because I know other people have been seriously hurt, but I lived, I survived, man. I get to hang with my family and my buds again, so I'm very, very grateful. Be safe. And you know what? It's a beautiful day. Thank you.